Within subject designs, experimental methods. This type of design has the same participants in each treatment conditions. This helps to control for individual differences, whereby we can focus on the change from a condition or intervention. Comparison of individual and condition means are also very easy to be accomplished, and we can attribute these scores to the condition or intervention itself. Advantages. In controlling for individual differences, it can remove problems of increased variance, producing less overlap between groups. All participants act as their own controls, eliminating individual differences and generating greater statistical power in finding a significance. Due to greater statistical power than between subject designs, this experiment can rely on fewer participants, which is useful when researching special populations. Disadvantages of within subject designs include that it is vulnerable to threats like environment threats, which are where participants tested at different times or places may produce an environmental effect that needs to be controlled for. For example, this includes noise, time of the day, rooms where the experiment is performed, and weather. Order effects are effects that are caused by the ordering of the conditions. They include progressive errors, which can include fatigue and practice, and carryover effects, such as treatment from intervention 1 affects intervention 2, contaminating the other conditions. Order effects can be countered by choosing between subject designs. Time-related factors. These are effects that are derived from the passage of time that may influence the study. Time affects intervention and could include anything that happens outside the study, influencing the result's interpretation. Maturation is the aging process and may have learned biological and cohort effects or trends that influence the interpretation of results. When measuring, one needs to minimize the time between interventions. History effects are any events that may have occurred between the baseline and intervention. Minimizing the time between the measurements helps to reduce these. Instrumentation. These are the changes that occur to the instruments between the interventions and can include errors in calibration as well as non-physical instruments. For example, the observers might not code events properly due to vague categories. Regression to the mean. These are measurements of IQ. For example, it includes real IQ plus error. The error may include having a good or bad mood, getting lucky with questions, etc. When IQ tests are taken over and over, individuals tend to regress towards the mean. The solution to this is not to just select people on the tails of the distribution, but actually be sure to test people a lot of times, many times. To counter order and time-related factors, one could also control time by modulating the amount of time between first and second intervention. To reduce order effects, such as the influence of practice, one might want to increase the time. But if you want to reduce time effects, you want to decrease the time between the interventions. Thus, there is a delicate balance. One must choose to either reduce one effect, but in doing so exacerbate the effect of the other. Counterbalancing can be used by creating varying orders of interventions to equal out any order effects, but there are still carryover effects present, though not all in the same direction. Counterbalancing becomes more complicated when there are more than 2 multiple treatment conditions, which requires n number of sequences or groups. Statistical analyses used to measure within subjects' designs includes paired samples t-tests and repeated measures ANOVA. Thus, in summary, we looked at within subject designs, experimental methods, we looked at advantages and disadvantages, as well as environmental threats, order effects, carryover effects, time-related factors, maturation, history effects, instrumentation, regression to the mean, how to counter against order and time-related factors, such as, for example, counterbalancing, and statistical analyses used for within subject designs, such as paired samples t-tests and repeated measures ANOVA. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.